Everyone can breathe a big sigh of relief. Don't worry, liberal women are here to save Iran.
Ayatollah Khamenei's regime is not fascist in nature.
What is exactly would be your vision of Iran? Would you like to just see them to continue to live under this dictator regime? Like, what would you like to see?
We're living under dictatorship.
We are?
We are.
Oh, shit, I didn't know.
Actually, maybe Iranians would rather still have Khamenei than deal with these losers. Welcome back to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. You can find me on X, Sara Gonzales TX. You can find me at saragonzales.com. You can find me at americanbeautybysara.com if you'd like some lipstick, some skincare, some bronzer. I'm in all the places, so just make sure that you go check me out. You never know when I could disappear. So obviously a lot happened over the weekend with Operation Epic Fury. This was, Stephen, I'm going to kind of give you a hard time for a second. I was sleeping very peacefully, I might add. And I was awakened by Stephen like, oh my gosh, in bed on his phone.
That is not how it, first off, no way it happened like that.
It definitely happened like that.
I couldn't sleep and I just went, oh, what the? I don't remember what I said.
Okay.
It was definitely not that loud.
We're playing a semantics game now. First of all, everything you say is that loud. It's true. Second of all, again, awakened from my peaceful slumber, and I'm like, what? He's like, Donald Trump just bombed Iran. And I was like, oh gosh, here we go.
And she went right back to sleep.
I mean, it took me a little bit, but that is true.
Yeah.
That is true. I was like, all right, whatever. I'm going back to bed. Whatever is happening, it's going to be the same at 6:30 in the morning when our son wakes us up. And we're lucky if we get to sleep in that long. So President Trump we found out later that all of this bombing took out the supreme leader of Iran, Ayatollah Khamenei. And listen, you can say what you want about, and by the way, I'm conflicted here as well, because I feel like Khamenei was a bad guy and he wanted to dismantle the West, very much so. I'm not a fan of war. I'm not a fan of getting sucked into war. I'm not a fan of forever war. I have 2 young boys. So I'm not here to sell you on a war with Iran. But what I am here to tell you is that Iran actually was pretty excited. And I want to show you President Trump delivering the message to the people of Iran, who have been oppressed by this man for a very long time, in a way that even Khamenei would give him, if he wasn't dead. He died like a dog. Khamenei. He died like a dog. He could, if he were alive, maybe appreciate that President Trump, they hacked the TVs in Iran and broadcast his message.
Is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action.
Listen, again, you don't have to be a fan of forever war to be inspired by that. And, you have this guy, this Ayatollah. He's in power for 47 years. He limited the freedoms of Iranians. He slaughtered his own people. I mean, you could be out if you were out protesting in Iran, you would not be out there very long before you were killed. Of course, they do not have freedom of speech there. They do not. I mean, you get thrown in prison if you don't wear your hijab and you're a woman. Guys, he's a bad dude oppressing his own people. And on top of that, he did try to troll us not that long ago, February 17th. He said the U.S. president has said that for 47 years, the United States hasn't been able to eliminate the Islamic Republic. That is a good confession. I say you too will not be able to do this. Khamenei, comment on your previous statement. Do you know? Oh, that's right. You're dead. The U.S. president keeps saying that they have the strongest military force in the world. The strongest military force in the world may at times be struck so hard that it cannot get up again. Khamenei, please request for comment on your statement. Hello? Are you there? Oh, that's right. You're still dead. Now, I like to read this. By the way, Khamenei's DMs are open. If you'd like to send him a parting message, I know I did. And it was very gratifying. So if you are on X, go check him out in his DMs. But I like to read everything that he says. As I'm reading it, I read it in his, like, a Borat voice, because I feel like he's giving Borat energy.
You will never get this. You will never get this. La 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 la. Here behind this cage, crazy, crazy. Everybody laughs.
And then he get this. And we all laugh. High five. Yeah, that's how I imagine Khamenei. He's like, you will never get this. The Islamic Republic, you will never get this. La, 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 la. Oh. And then he get this. So, listen. He was a monster. The world is better off without him. Again, I don't like the idea of war. I would like to hear from the president or from the vice president or from the secretary of war, from someone who can give us more information on why the timing. Was there a credible threat? Was he about to strike us? Like, I would like a little bit more information on why we just went in there guns blazing and decided now is the time. I'm not saying, I'm not hating on it. But if this starts another war that, now we're talking years of our lives, we're sending U.S. troops there, innocent lives are lost. Like, I need to know. I'm not a fan. However, I understand the difference between not being a fan of war and being America first, and therefore being a little bit skeptical of anything like that, of any, global conflict, and the difference between that and just like, the guy's a bad guy. The guy was a bad guy. The guy was a monster. The guy was terrible to his own people. Like, can we at least agree on that? No, apparently we can't. Apparently we can't, because every time this happens, you have the Democrats and the mainstream media. Boy, I repeat myself. Now all of a sudden, this horrible terrorist was a saint. Let me show you the New York Times headline. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, hardline cleric who made Iran a regional power, is dead at 86. Oh, how inspiring. How inspiring. Now, in case you wanted more proof that the New York Times is in fact the enemy of the people, one of the things that President Trump said that I don't even think he realized when he said it, it was just so prophetic, was that the mainstream media is the enemy of the people. I mean, they were then, but they've just gotten even worse at this point. Let me show you how they celebrate the deaths of conservative Americans who aren't total tyrannical dictators. Okay? Rush Limbaugh dies at 70, turned talk radio into a right-wing attack machine with a following of 15 million and a divisive style of mockery, grievance, and denigrating language. He was a force in reshaping American conservatism. Oh, right-wing attack machine. He's divisive. He has denigrating language. I wonder what they think of me. Let's go with Scott Adams. Let's see how they handled Scott Adams. Scott Adams, creator of the satirical Dilbert comic strip, dies at 68. His Chronicles of a Corporate Cubicle Dweller was widely distributed until racist comments on his podcast led newspapers to cut their ties with him. So just as a reminder, he was definitely a racist. He's dead and he was a racist. Like, oh, wow. Where is that same energy? Where is that same energy for the guy who killed tens of thousands of his own citizens? Where is that energy? I don't see it, New York Times. That is so crazy. You spend all of your time like talking all of this nonsense about actual American citizens who have died, who've done nothing wrong. I mean, when you're comparing the likes of Ali Khamenei to Scott Adams, like it's very obvious who the good guy is. Okay? Can't even be bothered to have the same energy for the terrorists. Do what you will with that information. You might think these people like the terrorists. I don't know. I mean, it feels to me like it's just straight up reporting Iranian state media propaganda now, because that's how they're glorifying this leader, this Iranian leader he was killed by mean Donald Trump during the strikes in Iran. On top of that, we heard all of this incoming information that there was a school that was hit by a bomb, a missile, something, and children died. And Iran obviously immediately said, this is the United States, this is Israel, even though there were conflicting reports. And by the way, the latest and most relevant report says that it was actually Iran. It was Iran whose missile screwed up and came back down and blew up the school. So it was them in the first place. But what are facts to the New York Times? What are facts to the New York Times? They really, really wanted to. I mean, listen, you don't want to interrupt them trying to shit on Trump. Can't do that. They need that. They live off of that. Here was their headline. Iran says dozens are killed in strike on school. So now we're just like, oh, Iran says it. Iran said it. Must be true. The strike on an elementary school in the southern Iran town of Minab was one of two attacks that appeared to have hit schools during U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran on Saturday. Iran says it. It must be true. They've never lied before. They've never been deceitful before. They've never been manipulative before. They're just trustworthy. The good folks in Iran's government, the supreme leader, the Ayatollah, they don't call him supreme for no reason. They said it. It must be true. We don't need to please don't do any fact checks. We don't do that. We don't do that here at the New York Times, okay? That's not something we do here. Now, you do have Iranians, thankfully, because I get it. I am an American and I am blessed to be an American. And what the hell do I know about Iran or Iranian politics or anything like that? Well, you do have Iranians who are calling out their bullshit. This is Elika Laban.
It has never been more important to apply critical thinking. This regime is still engaging in a mind war to convince you otherwise. Anything that this regime reports has to be disregarded as unreliable. Why? Because there is no apparatus to confirm anything that it reports. There is no apparatus for democracy, for veracity, for truth. There is just a propaganda arm. There is no free press. There is no free speech. Whatever tells you is a carefully constructed narrative that they've been building for weeks, months, if not years. Please think carefully. As soon as this regime's basis was struck, it didn't report back to Western media that its officials had been killed. It reported back that Iranian schoolgirls had been killed. Why not just say that 2,000 starving infants in an orphanage had been massacred? And that same Western media, the same Western media that ignored when tens and thousands of protesters were slain by this regime, were the first to report its lies. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? Makes you wonder, what side does Western media stand on anymore?
I don't wonder at all, actually. I don't wonder at all. It's actually very clear what side Western media stands on. It's very clear what side the Democrats and the mainstream media stand on. And it's not America's side. And it's not on the side of freedom either, by the way.
I unequivocally oppose this war of choice, and everyone should. And the bottom line, when it comes down to it, is that if we want to stop Donald Trump with this random decision that he has arrived at, then Congress must act. And Congress must act immediately. The American people do not want our sons and daughters to go into this unauthorized war of choice, and I unequivocally oppose it.
It is so disingenuous from the woman who was the vice president in an administration that was perfectly fine continuing the Russia-Ukraine war. I mean, we funded it. We gave them weapons. We did everything we could to continue that war under her administration. In fact, remember, there were moments where there could have been a negotiation, and she and Joe Biden, or whoever the hell was pulling his puppet strings, said, don't do it. Don't negotiate. We will keep funding this forever. So I don't want to hear it from her. I don't want to hear it from her, actually. I don't want to hear it from the Democrats. I mean, Barack Obama was like the king of dropping bombs without getting authorization. So I'm not going to be lectured to by the likes of Kamala Harris. I'm just not. Like, go drink more, okay? We don't want to hear what you have to say. If we did, you would be the president right now. But you're not, because we don't like you. So just go away. Take the vodka bottle, whatever the hell. Maybe you're smoking the, marijuana. I just sounded really old. The marijuanas, like the crazy kids are doing. Maybe you're smoking a little doobie, okay? Whatever it is that you're doing, go away. We don't want to hear from you with all of your hypocrisy. You know who else we don't want to hear from? Rashida Tlaib. You guys are going to be shocked to hear this. You're not. Rashida Tlaib, I hope you're sitting down for this. Rashida Tlaib sided with the Ayatollah. Oh my God. What? A terrorist who is in our country actually serving in Congress sided with the Ayatollah? What? I'm so shocked. She said you cannot free people by killing them and destroying their country. It's so crazy. It's actually so crazy. These people are not living in real life. By the way, Elika Laban, someone who is a subject matter expert in this, I would say, Rashida, had a perfect response on behalf of every Iranian in the world. You. She said it. I've never been to Iran. I am not a foreign policy expert. I trust those who are from there, who still have family there. And everyone's favorite Somalian pirate, by the way, weighed in, Ilhan Omar, because as I say, you can take the pirate out of Somalia. You can't take the Somalia out of the pirate, unfortunately. She apparently really loves oppressing women, as made clear by her shing turban. And she said Trump has launched an illegal regime change war. As someone who has survived the horrors of war, I know military strikes will not make us safer. They will inflame tensions and push the region further into chaos. When we abandon diplomacy, we choose destruction. Where was the same energy when it was your guys who were doing it? And by the way, this is coming from the same Muslim who would rather make it easier for terrorists to just come into this country and carry out attacks here on domestic soil. Isn't that interesting? Maybe that's why she's mad. She's withholding funding from DHS. And look what happened. An alleged terror attack in the form of a mass shooting in Austin. Which, by the way, I will have much more on in my Texas Scorecard episode that drops tomorrow on my YouTube channel. It's on the Come and Take It playlist. And I will have a lot more on this particular gentleman who, you're going to be shocked to hear, was a foreign national. But his track record and how he got to be a naturalized citizen is going to shock you. It's almost like that's what Ilhan Omar wants. It's almost like that's what Ilhan Omar wants, is bringing them here so that they can commit these crimes on American soil. Now, there were a couple bright spots in the media coverage. It's not all bad. I like to listen. If I'm going to give you the bad, I'll give you the good too. There were a ton of celebrations from Iranians, both in Iran and here on our soil. They were really excited about what Donald Trump had done, about the death of Khamenei. They took to the streets. And this local CBS reporter in Austin, he was actually texted that he shouldn't cover the rally because it was pro-Trump, because they were happy at what President Trump did. But he was like, yeah, I'm going to do it anyway.
What does that mean? It means they don't want us to focus on this.
There's a lot of mixed opinions across Austin about the joint attack between the United States and Israel against Iran that happened early this morning. Some people, like this group behind me, are thanking Trump and the United States government for following through with this attack.
Uh-oh, you're fired. I have a feeling that guy is going to be fired. Now, CNN did their best. They did their best, okay? They thought they had this one in the bag. They got on a Democrat Iranian. They're like, duh, we know how this is going to go. There's no way they have anything good to say about that. It's a Democrat, after all. Donald Trump is screwed, except this happened.
I think that it is imperative the Democratic Party wake up and get past their dislike of Donald Trump, the President Trump, and their feelings of international conflicts going on. This is about national security. This is about what is possible in the Middle East. This is a transformational moment for humankind, for security, and as an American, this is in our interest to complete it. So I am a Democrat. I have been a huge Democrat. I am incredibly disappointed with my party. I do not see myself in them in this moment.
Oh, Dana Bash was so mad. She was so mad. By the way, Stephen, I know you could appreciate that they had to frame up that woman on the left like completely wrong because her hair was so big. She was like lower. I know you're getting it ready, aren't you? She was lower than everyone else because they had to make headroom. What is that? What is she, Marge Simpson? What is that?
Very fashionable do.
That is absurd.
Both of them.
Well, she was mad too.
What does she have, a banana in her hair? What is that?
Is that in her hair? I thought it was the background behind her.
No, she's got like it's a flower.
You have a banana in your hair, or are you just happy to see me?
That's a flower. She got a flower in that thing.
You know, she could have just stuck with the flower and
probably just hit her hair on her way in, and she had no idea. Stuck in there.
Looks like she got electrocuted. Anywho, make sure you are subscribed to Sara Gonzales Unfiltered. Smash the like button. Comment. It'll help us in the algorithm, which we all know is stacked against us. And by the way, go over to our new YouTube channel at Sara Gonzales TX. We've got another H1B expose that's going through edit right now. And we've got annoying legal questions that we have to answer. But other than that, it's about to be good to go. You don't want to miss it when it drops. It is only being released at Sara Gonzales TX on YouTube. Make sure you go there and subscribe. All right, want to thank our sponsor, PreBorn. So PreBorn is doing God's work. They have a network of clinics that if a woman goes into, say, a Planned Parenthood, they are sold a bunch of lies. Obviously, you guys know this. They're told, oh, it's just a clump of cells. Don't worry. You won't regret a thing. Just let us suck that out of you and you'll go on your merry way. And you'll pay us a pretty penny before you do. PreBorn's network of clinics is much different. They actually welcome the woman in. They show the woman an ultrasound, which shows the woman the truth. This is a baby growing inside of you. She hears the heartbeat. And in that moment, she is twice as likely to choose life. More than 80% of the time, when a mother sees her baby on a preborn ultrasound, she chooses life. That's how incredible this is. But cost money. Ultrasounds cost money, $28 to be precise. And this March, PreBorn is trying to save 6,800 babies. It's going to take 124 partners saying yes every day. So please, how many babies can you help us save? $28 saves one baby. $140 saves 5 babies. Help us save all the babies. You can go to preborn.com/Sara. That is preborn.com/Sara. So, obviously, liberals we call them libtarded for a reason. They're nuts. They're nuts. Like anything that Donald Trump touches, they hate. And anything that Donald Trump doesn't like, they're all in. So it's been very, very interesting to watch how these libtards have been handling the news with Iran, with Khamenei dead. We've seen women in Iran, the actual people who were oppressed, they're tearing off their hijabs, they're celebrating in the streets, they're dancing, they're clapping to celebrate their new freedoms. Iranians, by the way, all over the world too. You have Los Angeles, people holding signs that say, we stand with President Trump. Look at all of these, the old school Iranian flags. They're cheering, they're dancing. You have, even in DC, you had Iranian Americans waving American flags and American and Iranian flags and chanting USA. Watch. You have Iranians posting, they are so happy. They're posting these videos of themselves doing the Trump dance in celebration. Like, it seems like the people who actually know how bad this dude was firsthand because their family or themselves have been directly affected by all of the dictatorship, the evil, the oppression. Like, these are the people who know, right? I would trust their opinion over anyone else's. But somehow, some way, white liberal women in America are like, actually, let me explain to you why you are incorrect about the country that you came from and why Khamenei is like good or something. White liberal American women are coming to the rescue. They want to speak to someone's manager. They know more than all of these people who clearly have experience. And as usual, the paid protesters were out like clockwork with it. It's like it's always hands off, insert name here. Hands off Venezuela. Hands off our bodies. And now it's hands off Iran. Here is some of that protest.
What exactly would be your vision of Iran? Would you like to just see them to continue to live under this dictator regime? Like, what would you like to see?
We're living under dictatorship.
We are?
We are.
Oh, shit. I didn't know.
Really?
No, I didn't. How are we living under a dictatorship?
You don't, like, if you gotta think what you're gonna put on, like right now when you're talking to me, if you gotta think how, if I'm able to say this, and I'm not gonna be doxxed or banned or whatever, that is a form of dictatorship.
What?
Like in Russia, like in
But you
in
were
any
gonna
other
be
big country.
you were gonna be doxxed by the United States government? Is that what you're saying?
I just might.
I might. Maybe. Prove to me that I'm not. I might be. I don't know. I mean, the fact that like you can ask me these questions and I have the ability to answer them freely obviously means I live under a dictatorship. Like, these people are fucking retarded. They're so stupid. And I would say that it is, potentially like our education system, but that woman was ancient. So, I mean, like, I should reasonably conclude that she went through the schooling system before they got really bad. She must just be brain dead. But it gets worse. But wait, there's more. I already have a new leading nominee for a new prize that we're giving away. It's called Retard of the Year. And although it is only the 2nd of March, I don't know. I feel pretty strongly about this one.
So this says Free Iran, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Free Iran from what exactly?
From imperialism, theocracy, racism, and capitalism.
Okay. So for theocracy, are you referring to the regime, the Islamist regime? Like, is that what you're saying?
Referring to the law that was implemented by the Ayatollah Khamenei.
Okay.
I support him in his anti-imperialist efforts, but I don't think any country should be run by religion.
You don't think the country should be run by religion, but you support Iran. Boy, have I got news for they, them. Ooh, this is going to be awkward when you hear the type of government that Iran has. But it went on.
Would you rather that we be allies with Iran than Israel?
Yes.
Sure.
I think allying with Israel is one of the most fascist and dangerous actions the U.S. could take.
Okay. And what makes that fascist versus allying with Iran?
Because Iran isn't fascist.
Okay.
And you studying political ideologies, you understand what fascism is, and it is not Iran.
Oh.
Because Iran was Ayatollah Khamenei's rule was achieved through a revolution. It was sort of a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
Fascism rises electorally and democratically, and then turns on its constituents.
Yes.
Ayatollah Khamenei's regime is not fascist in nature.
I mean, doesn't that tell you all you need to know? He's like, political ideology major, which he's like, well, when you study political ideology, because that's what I've done. That's what I'm very well educated. That's kind of like my major. So I would know that Iran is not a dictatorship. No, I can't show my work, but I went to like Harvard and they told me that. They also told me that I could wear a dress and call myself a girl. Like, what are we doing here, guys? Well, they're so broken. I really challenge Callie Means from last week when I spoke with him. I really challenge Callie Means. Please, can HHS, please, for the love of God, find out what is causing Trump derangement syndrome. And is there a cure? Is there a cure? Is there like a reversal? Is there anything we can do other than a complete lobotomy? Which, by the way, I'm about there. Like, maybe we should let's just do that. Let's just give these people lobotomies. It can't get any worse, right? Like, it can't, there's no way it can get any worse. Is now you have TDS level 5, and these people are like, actually, I just think Iran is better or something.
Who do you think is more for women's rights, the Trump administration or the Iranian regime?
I'm against Trump, so I guess I'll go Iranian regime, if it's between the two.
As a woman, who do you think is more pro-women's rights, the Trump administration or the Iranian regime?
I don't know what that
is. Iran is in the Middle East.
That's well, probably not the Trump. Bruh. I mean, I can definitely say for sure it's not the Trump administration.
What rights do women have in Iran that they don't have here?
Uh-oh. Short circuit.
What rights do we not have here as women?
Well,
I'm
sorry, I don't want to be in this anymore. Okay, if I had to pick, probably Iranian militarization. Like, Trump is just evil in so many ways, yeah.
Okay, so you think the Iranian regime is more pro-women's rights?
Yeah.
If I had to pick, I'd pick Irani.
I don't know why that one just surprises you of all of it.
But I mean, it's all retardation. But I just like you don't even know the name. They cannot give Donald Trump. I mean, they cannot, for the life of them, give that man credit for anything. You mean to tell me? You know what? I will personally fund all of these women's one-way tickets to Iran, and they can just live there. And they can find out very, very quickly how many rights women have in Iran compared to here in America. Because when they go over to Iran, by the way, if they bring their they-them friend that we just saw in an earlier clip who's nominated for Retard of the Year, it would not go well for him. Okay? It would definitely not go well for that dude. Just saying, don't walk up any stairs to the rooftop of a tall building, no matter what they tell you, sir. Do not do it. They do not have your best interest at heart. I am kind and benevolent, and I am giving you a warning because I love everyone, all right? Don't walk to any tall rooftops. Also, women, let me tell you what's going to happen to you if you don't wear the hijab. Let me tell you what's going to happen to you if anyone thinks that you potentially have been unfaithful. They're going to stone you, potentially to death. You're going to have an honor killing where a male in your family is going to kill you. And by the way, they're going to be happy about it because like that's the honorable thing to do in their opinion. You could be attacked with acid. Totally fine. By the way, boy, when I tell you about abortion rights in Iran, you might just lose your mind. Like, these people are so broken. We definitely need lobotomies. Yeah, I don't think there is a cure. Never mind Callie Means. I mean, study it. I think I already know it's incurable. It's terminal. They need lobotomies if we are going to expect them to operate in our society. I mean, and really, honestly, that's not for them. That's for us. Like, I'm not doing the lobotomy to help them. I'm doing it for us because I'm tired of hearing it. I'm tired of all of the retardation. It just needs to happen. All right. If you have not yet signed up for Blaze TV, you can do so by going to blazetv.com/Sara. You can subscribe and save $20 with promo code Sara. That is blazetv.com/Sara. I would like to take this time to remind everybody that President Trump is going to go down as the world's most epic troller. Like, he is the unequivocal king of trolling when it comes to the Democrats. And let's just set the stage here, okay? Remember not that long ago when Senate and House minority leaders Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries cried liberal tears when Trump sombreroed them?
Way to sugarcoat it. Nobody likes Democrats anymore. We have no voters left because of all of our woke trans bullshit. Not even black people want to vote for us anymore. Even Latinos hate us.
Every time, I love it. So Chuck Schumer thinks like, oh, well, no one outsmarts Chuck Schumer. No one out-trolls Chucky. I'm gonna get him back. I'm gonna, like, give you guys a little secret here. It's not going well, okay? It is not going well. So he thought that he would keep with the Mexican theme. This is a little bit of a throwback here from last year. He thought he would keep with the Mexican theme. He coined a term for President Trump in keeping with that, taco. You may be like, the hell does that mean? Oh, very creative. Trump always chickens out. You got it? You got it? It spells taco. It spells taco. I'm so creative. He even, by the way, I don't know if you guys missed this, he posted a video last year that was like, oh, Trump is tacoing. He's chickening out again when it comes to Iran. What? Ooh, he's not going to do anything when it comes to Iran. He's a chicken. Bok, chicken.
When it comes to negotiating with the terrorist government of Iran, Trump's all over the lot. One day he sounds tough, the next day he's backing off. And now, all of a sudden, we find out that Witkoff and Rubio are negotiating a secret side deal with Iran. What kind of bull is this? They're going to sound tough in public and then have a side deal that lets Iran get away with everything? That's outrageous. If Taco Trump is already folding, the American public should know about it.
Could we have an update on that, Chuck? Could we have I mean, you just were like, oh, bok. You're not going to do anything about Iran. Ooh, President Trump, you should negotiate with them. They're big and mean. You should just do something about it decisively, but you won't because taco, ha, ha, ha. Oh, you're going to be shocked to hear he has quite the different tone now that President Trump literally just did what he goaded him into doing, followed through with bombing the shit out of Iran and killing Khamenei. Now, all of a sudden, Chucky Schumer is not happy about it. He said the self-proclaimed peace president is the most trigger-happy, destructive president in the history of our country, fitfully lashing out with no strategy. I don't know. I feel like he had quite the strategy, actually, and it seemed to be quite successful, but now Chucky Schumer can't admit, turns out President Trump does not taco. It's not a thing. Taco, do you get it? Do you get it? Would you be shocked if I told you there's one that might be worse when it comes to Chucky Schumer's He tried to troll. He did try, okay? Democrats, remember, we told you last week, they're all pissed off about the new food pyramid. I don't really know why. I'm going to waste brain cells if I try to figure out why. No one really knows. They just hate being healthy. I don't know. But then they're like, oh, well, you want us to eat real food? We can't eat real food. We have to eat ultra-processed food. Real food costs too much, and it's Donald Trump's fault somehow. Well, RFK came in and gave a very simple message to that.
Most of the cheap cuts of meat are very inexpensive. If you buy a porterhouse steak or a strip steak, it is gonna set you back. You can buy liver or the cheaper cuts of steak that are very, very affordable.
Just buy cheaper cuts of meat. You can still eat real food. I'm not telling you to go out and buy a filet mignon if you don't have the means to afford it, but like you can buy chuck roast, right? Buy within your means. There are cheaper alternatives available that are still healthy. Like, it seems very, very reasonable. For some reason, because he's stupid, this is going to be the hill that Chuck Schumer is going to die on, I guess. And he's like, eat liver. President Trump, Hey, POTUS, this is what he said on Threads. Hey, POTUS, is liver on the menu tonight at the Mar-a-Lago dining room, or is that just for the rest of America? Like, Mar-a-Lago is clearly an exclusive club. It is for very wealthy people. Like, that's just kind of the deal. Everyone knows that. But poor Chuck Schumer, he hasn't quite caught up. He's like, oh, boom, I got him. How will Donald Trump ever recover from this? Oh, man, he's never going to come back from this. By the way, you will notice I'm reliably informed that Threads is like incredibly, this is the Instagram version of X, I guess. And Threads on Instagram is very, very liberal. I never frequent it. My producer tells me all the time that it's like very liberal. I wouldn't know, which kind of like case in point. I don't go on there. It must be liberal because I don't know anyone. Like none of my friends go on there either. But he is in his own lane from his own people getting roasted in the comments. Yeah, here's one. You did it, Chuck. There's no way he's coming back from this one. Great job. Now, this one is my favorite. Chuck, please, for the love of everything, shut the up. Like, you're embarrassing us. You're really embarrassing us, Chuck. Please just shut up. Please. Stop saying taco. Stop saying, oh, hey, is liver on the menu? Or that's just for the rest of us. Like, oh, no, you got him. Wow. Great job, Chucky. Great job. You would expect him to be a little bit better at trolling considering he looks exactly like one. Anywho, we've got more to come, including there's a lot of Bill and Hillary Clinton testimony that was released today. Let me give you at least one good little tidbit when we return. Now, I know that I have spent the episode just putting totally retarded liberals in front of you. But I'm an optimistic person. I'm a glass half full kind of gal today. And I just feel like sometimes you just see things and it just reminds you to be grateful for what you have. In this case, Donald Trump being president, because boy, yeah, here were our options the first go around. Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. Wow. Could you imagine if we had President Hillary Clinton? Well, you don't have to, because video just released of her Epstein testimony, including, you guys may recall, we talked about it. Apparently, Lauren Boebert leaked a photo of her online, and the moment she found out has been released. Hillary Clinton finding out that Lauren Boebert took a picture and, well, she's a little unhinged. Watch.
Photos that are being released of the secretary as she is testifying. Can you please explain how that can
I'm done
occur?
with this. If you guys are doing that, I am done. You can hold me in contempt from now until the cows come home. This is just typical behavior.
We will go off the record.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
So I would like to understand how that's permissible.
Before the hearing was...
It doesn't matter. We all are abiding by the same rules.
I will take that down.
Yeah,
So
well...
I would like to take a break at this moment.
Yeah,
I'd like to have
I'm
a
done
conversation.
for now.
Go off the record. Go off the record.
Oh my gosh. What an evil shrew. What the hell's the difference? It's being filmed, ma'am. What is the I don't even understand. It's almost like she's looking for a reason to blow up and have this big moment where she's like, oh, never mind. I'm done. I'm not answering any more questions about my husband's best friend. I mean, I know nothing. Jeffrey who? Ghislaine who? Yeah. Oh, yes, she was at Chelsea. Yeah, she was at my daughter's wedding. That is true. But I didn't know her. We just invited literally everyone who lived anywhere in the vicinity of New York. I didn't know who my guest plus ones were. Ghislaine who? How do you pronounce that? Huh? I'd never heard of the gal. Like, what? You want that? People wanted that demeanor, that type. You see, this is why I tell people women should not be president. We don't have the emotional capability. She can't just sit there and not throw a fit over a picture Yeah, she definitely was going to be the person who could negotiate with other countries. Sure, Jan, I'm sure that that's the case. By the way, she's not alone. I mean, Joe Biden at one point was running for re-election. Now they did give us Kamala after that, but he was running at one point for re-election before the disastrous debate happened. And just be grateful we only had to suffer 4 years. Now, it was a disastrous 4 years. It was. But could be worse, right? It could be worse. He could be president right now if he had not dropped out. And over the weekend, he is still going out and doing speaking events, guys. I cannot explain to you how crazy that is. Like, he could just go into the sunset. Now, even though he's half dead, he was Weekend at Bernie's president, he is still going out, and he spoke at a public event in South Carolina. Well, I use that term loosely. Like, he tried speaking at a public event in South Carolina over the weekend. Watch.
By the way, to see Trump give the State of Union last night, is he still talking? I don't know. But folks, it's unbelievable. Well, South Carolina is Fritz Hollings.
What?
Pizza. I said, yes, sir. Folks, I was asked 6 years ago on this weekend in this state. I came here. I knew they'd never let me down. Think about it. Think about it.
Like, who let him out of the nursing home and said it's a good idea for Joe Biden to give this speech? Who hates Joe Biden so much? I think it's Jill, honestly. I think it's Jill. I think Jill is like not cool being home with him. She's over it. She was forcing him to run because she wanted the power and the fame and the prestige. It wasn't because she thought it was good for her husband. And now that he's at home with her in Delaware, she's like, we got to get you some speaking events, Joe, because I'm tired of dealing with you. I'm tired of being your caretaker and changing your poopy diaper. Probably. I mean, that was the guy. That was the guy that the Democrats tried to tell you was perfectly fine up until the point where there was a debate. And then magically, the day of the debate, he became totally incapacitated and had dementia, right? But up until that point, totally fine. I did not understand what he said at least half of the moments that he was speaking in that clip. No idea what he said. If anyone loved Joe Biden, they would just take him back to the nursing home and let him live out the last of his days. By the way, can we get an update on the cancer they said he had? That seems to have just mysteriously been forgotten about. A little weird, right? Almost like it was an excuse.